Imagine I offer you a bet. Heads, I give you $100. Tails, you give me $100. A fair coin, an even chance. Would you take it? If you're like most people, the answer is no. Not because the bet is unfair. Mathematically, it's perfectly balanced. But psychologically, it's not. The fear of losing $100 is far more intense than the pleasure of gaining the same amount. That, in its simplest form, is loss aversion. Loss aversion is the human tendency to prefer avoiding losses over acquiring equivalent gains. The pain of losing is psychologically about twice as powerful as the pleasure of gaining. This idea was first documented by psychologists Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky in the late 1970s as part of their Nobel Prize-winning work on prospect theory. Before their research, economists assumed humans were rational actors who weighed gains and losses equally. But Kahneman and Tversky showed we are not. We are emotional decision makers, and we are wired to protect what we have far more fiercely than to chase what we might gain. This bias appears everywhere. In the stock market, investors hold on to losing stocks far too long because selling would make the loss real. Even when the rational decision is to cut and reinvest, the pain of admitting defeat is too strong. In relationships, people stay in unhappy situations because they've invested so much time already. In negotiations, people reject offers that are objectively fair simply because they feel like they're losing something, even if they never actually owned it. Our ancestors lived in a world of scarcity. A loss of food, shelter, or status could mean death. Avoiding losses was a survival mechanism. But in the modern world, where most losses are psychological rather than physical, this ancient wiring often works against us. It makes us play too safe. It stops us from taking calculated risks. It keeps us locked in situations far past their expiration date simply because we cannot bear the thought of losing what we already have. The most subtle and destructive form of loss aversion is called the endowment effect. Once we own something, we instantly value it more, not because it has objectively changed, but simply because it is ours. This is why sellers think their house is worth more than buyers do. It's why you find it hard to delete old photos, give away clothes you never wear, or leave a career you no longer care about. The act of possessing something changes how your brain sees it. So what do we do with this knowledge? Recognizing loss aversion is the first step. Notice the hesitation before a decision and ask yourself, am I afraid of losing something real? Or am I just afraid of the feeling of loss itself? Often, the thing we are afraid to lose is not the thing itself, but the sense of security, identity, or hope we have attached to it. The second practice is to reframe the decision. Instead of thinking about what you might lose, ask what you might gain, and then weigh them honestly, not equally. Remind yourself that the pain you fear is exaggerated by your own biology. It will hurt, but not as much or as long as you predict. The third practice is to set pre-commitment rules. Make decisions in advance, when you are calm and clear-headed, not in the heat of fear. Decide your investment strategy, your relationship boundaries, your career red lines before the moment of loss arrives. A rule made in safety is a shield in crisis. Loss aversion is not a flaw to be cured. It is a feature of being human. It kept our ancestors alive. But you are no longer on the savannah, scanning the horizon for predators. You are in a world where the biggest risk is not losing, but never fully living, because you are too afraid to lose anything at all. The quiet theory worth testing today is this: the pain of a loss will fade, but the regret of never trying will whisper for a lifetime. Choose your losses intentionally, not out of fear. And perhaps in doing so, you will find that what you gain far outweighs what you were so afraid to let go. If this idea stayed with you, consider subscribing to The Quiet Theory. One concept every week, no face, no noise, just a quiet space to think.